Hello, this is Micah Buzan, friend of Max Seipel. When Max asked me to be a best man at his wedding, I said I would be honored to do that. And then he said that means you would have to give a speech, as in talking, in front of people. And then I said, oh, I don't want to do that. As an alternative to giving a speech and having a panic attack in front of more people than I've seen in my entire life, Max then said, dude, no pressure. Maybe, instead of doing a little speech, you could draw a little animation. So, let's go back to where it all started. This is me. This is Max. From the moment I was a conscious organism, Max has been an integral part of my life. Hadouken! My very first memory of Max is when we were about 2 years old. As part of my morning routine, I'd line up little Fisher-Price figures from one end of the room to the other side. Next thing I know, Max comes running towards me dressed as Superman. He tackled me with a hug, and then beat up my carefully arranged toys and rolled like Sonic the Hedgehog into my Lego project. We very rarely got in fights growing up, but when we did, the fights were resolved as quickly as they started. We had the exact same action figures, so it could get confusing to know whose Batman was whose if they got mixed up in battle. But Max had an idea. He wrote our first initials on the feet of our identical Batmans to solve this problem. The issue here is that Max's name starts with the letter M, and my name starts with the letter M. So we still didn't know whose Batman was whose, and this really bothered me. Max was offended that I didn't like his plan, so I decided to lock him out of his own room for 3 hours to think about this. Even though Max was ready to get back to playing right away, he'd let me take his room whenever I needed alone time. When Max's mom asked why he was locked out of his room, he told her, "No one is allowed in my room, not even me, because my friend needs space." Max has always had high empathy. He was such a sensitive little guy that when a wasp stung me in the face during a garage sale, Max was the one who did all the crying. When you meet Max, you will find out pretty quick that he was homeschooled. If not for the elvish tattoo on his arm that says, homeschooled, more so from the general homeschooled vibes you will experience from his persona. We were homeschooled up until high school. Inventing games and trees is a vital part of this homeschool curriculum. We'd swing like George of the Jungle on Max's tree, and turned the mulberry tree at my house into a theme park with ramshackle rides hanging from the branches. We'd even charge the neighborhood kids 10 cents a pop to play on this tree. But there was one tree in my front yard we were told not to climb on. Upon hearing this information, Max sprinted to this tree in order to test out its climbability. The next thing I remember, he comes back to my house with his dad carrying a new tree to plant. Max was always eager to make amends. Anyone who knows Max associates him with the lake. Our moms swam us in the lake when we were babies, so the lake is part of his DNA. Throughout high school and into the college years, we spent summers diving for rocks at the lake. Building 5-foot-high rock structures is likely a byproduct of being homeschooled, but we also built this rock pile in order to attract the attention of the ladies around the lake, that they might float on over. It was not an effective dating strategy. When Max graduated college and moved to New York, he traded his binky for cigars. In New York, Max was a true businessman, but something was missing. Elaine was also in New York at this time, yet their paths never crossed. But when they both came back to Kansas City, they were drawn to each other like magnets. Max realized right away that Elaine was a very special lady. After a few dates, Max built up the courage to ask Elaine this very important question. Elaine, would you want to watch me do George of the Jungle on the rope swing?
Oh, yeah.
After a flawless performance, Elaine said, that was pretty cool. So, swinging on the rope swing would appear to be an effective dating technique. At least that's what Max told me. I have yet to replicate this study. I'm basically a turtle, but meeting Elaine is like instantly having a longtime friend. Elaine really doesn't know a stranger, and like Max, she's highly personable and knows how to talk to and connect with anyone. I'm not very good at initiating things, but Max has always been checking up on me despite my hermit ways, and in a way, he's taught me what it means to be a good friend. But more than a friend, I've always considered you a brother. I've known you since before I can even remember, and over the years, I've watched you adapt and grow into an amazing human. You're a great listener, have high empathy, are intelligent, funny, and have a good heart. I feel proud to see you with such an awesome gal as Elaine. You and Elaine make an amazing team, both on the pickleball court and as a couple. I love you guys, and I'm wishing you a lifetime of happiness.